Good, one from the front.
Facing them?
Yep. Yeah, facing them. What we're looking for here is that the barbell is close to the body, sometimes touching, but not grazing. Nice tight back, chest up, chin up. Where we want to see toes out, hip width apart.
And from the side, if you want to make sure those shoulder blades are over the bar.
Sure, bar is resting on your palm, and then you're wrapping your fingers around the thumbs. If we're weightlifting, we're hook gripping. If we're not hook gripping, you're not weightlifting.
And 100% at the very start, people have a tendency to let that go for a while. Start hook grip as early as you possibly can and get used to it. And when you kind of delay that, it's going to be much harder to get into further on then as well. And especially for application of speed, that's the major one for a hook grip. Right? So it's not so much that you're able to lift more, it's actually that you're able to put more force into the barbell and lift that weight faster. Hugely important for a powerful lift like this. When you're starting off and you want to get a good view from the side on this, you happy? We're happy? We're good. We know each other. This shoulder over the bar, okay? And reference his torso angle. We talk about the start position later, but reference his torso angle. Now watch the bar back. Torso angle stays the same. Bar back comes slightly back. Knees come back. Okay? Let's try that again. So really important that your setup is the most vital thing you can do is maintain this setup. Okay? Strong back, shoulders over the bar, quads engaged, bar comes back. Slowly. Beautiful, good. Lock and hold. We're going to have a nice chat while he holds this position. Shoulder blades over the back. That torso angle is the exact same as it was from the floor. And notice, he's not sitting back on his heels, mid-foot balance. We do not live on the heels, we live on the mid-foot. Over the back and then it's mid-tight, that's different person to person. But as Billy finishes the extension, watch the body. Everything is vertical. Shoulders are going up to the ceiling, long, aggressive leg extension. Big note, she's rocking, she's driving up onto the toes, not rocking onto the toes. So that's our thought process. Everything vertical, aggressive leg drive, aggressive shrug into the ceiling, makes long knee extension, hip extension, tall at the top. Is that okay? What you notice, for someone that's coming up, what you notice is the hip will shoot back, and if we're referencing that position, you can see my shoulder blades gone over the back. Yeah. So that's the reference that we want to play. Generally for feel, because it's better to get into the idea of feel rather than have someone look, we want to make sure that you're feeling the shoulder blades underneath the bar. You can do that with tight lats, mid-foot balance, but generally you should feel that it's the shoulder blades over the bar, and the quads should feel something as we come back into that passage into the pull.
So that third pull is not pulling the bar as high as you can, it's making sure that you're getting high enough, elbows high, and then you're pulling yourself underneath the bar into a nice cat position. From there is a cat position we'll talk about later, right? He found it, and then he stood up and he recovered. Held the bar overhead for a few seconds. So here he's just driving with the legs, still pushing through the floor, elbows bend, but that elbow bend means now that he has to start bringing his body down. All right, try it. And a common misconception of beginners is that they're trying to pull the bar as high as they can. That's why some people have a bigger power clean or whatever than they do their full snatch. So if you can think about it as a finish and then pull under, you should be able to lift it with it. One more. Push. As soon as the elbows bend, down. Okay?
As you hops and land, you're going to be roughly close to the upward position, which is going to be underneath your hips today. Okay? Our strongest receiving position, however, is wider into our squat. Okay? So it's not so much a jump as it is the knees lifting as we aggressively drop that. Our knees lifting as we aggressively drop our hips down to the floor and move our feet into the most positively strong position we can get into underneath that bar. So think more, it could be a slide, could be more along the lines of like attacking the heels on the floor, but it's not so much a jump at all. You know?
Yeah.
If you're familiar with Ian Jeffrey's work, you'll probably know what the ramp protocol is. Any coaches here who's heard of ramp protocol before? Yeah, so you know what it stands for. So Ramp basically means raise, activate, mobilize, and potentiate. Okay? Very simply. It sounds fancy, but it's nothing too technical, nothing too complex, right? Think of raise as raising your heart rate, very simply. So the way you want to do this is you probably want, if you're familiar with our work in CWC, we spend about 5 minutes on a cardio machine. So it could be the bike or the row machine. Okay? And then we're going to move on to activation. So with activation, your primary goal should be to activate the key muscle groups. So that could be your quads, glutes, the bigger muscle groups. But they also include your stabilizer muscles, so any muscles that involve in the overhead stabilization. Okay? Then you're moving on to mobilization. So with mobilization, you're looking to increase range of motions for specific, so it's basically specific ranges of motion for our sport, which is Olympic weightlifting. And then you're moving on to potentiation. Potentiation pretty much means you're just getting more into sport-specific movements. So that's where you start including barbell warm-up, or even just BBC barbell warm-up, and then going into the barbell, right? Drive those shoulder blades all the way up to the ceiling, bring the hips in, head down, looking back, and then dropping the shoulder blades, keeping the arms straight, looking up. Big breath into the stomach, punch and kick back, punch forward, kick back, elbows then touching the knees, and punch forward, kick back. Okay. Long stretch into the lat, and push back at the same time while keeping the legs and knees locked out, and heels pushed into the ground. Hold there for about 3 seconds. Back down to the ground. Knees off the ground. Right leg comes across. Right leg comes across. Hands to the sky. Drive that hip all the way up. Squeeze the glutes. Elbows locked out, locked out. Back down. Bring the hip back. Look for the arch in the back. Strong back. And stand back up. 5 of these. Nice and quick. So you can actually do activation, mobilization, and raise pretty much done at the same time. You don't actually have to go into very, very specific work. You can get a lot done with one movement. Come to squats, bodyweight squats. Nice and easy. Keep that back tight, chest open. You can alternate or do the same leg at the same time.
Nice and fast with that now, guys, and make sure you're keeping that back leg strong, okay? You want to really get the attention starting from the warm. Everything has to be somewhat based towards what you're looking to get involved in.
Hold muscle snatches, get the elbows up and out. Get the arms overhead, on the ball of the foot, and drop the heels back down. 5 please. Make sure you try and get that chest open, elbows up and out as much as possible. They're going to 5 behind the neck presses in that snatch grip position.
Ribs down and make sure you're opening up the chest with this now as well. So look up and open up that chest.
Good work. Then arms coming a bit closer into normal back squats. Again, we can open up the hip, chest up, back tight.
Tight grip,
Big
elbows
raise
down.
into that stomach as you come before you go down.
Get that balance.
Breathe. Push the bar overhead into overhead squats. Again, reach down as much as possible, back tight. 5 overhead squats. Punch that bar through the ceiling all the way. Looking for a stable overhead position. Then drop the bar in front. Going into 5 snatch pulls from the hand. So again, just go through the motions. If this is your first time, don't worry. So going into hand position. Okay. Back tight. Nice soft pull at the top. Make sure you find that balance through the midfoot all the way. Coming into play now, which is good. Slow transition around the knee, then speed up past the knees from the hand position again. Same motion. Keep that head up. Back stays tight. Once you've done 5, we're just transitioning a small bit lower again to mid shape. That's the start position. Slow transition around the knees and speed up past the knees again. Same motion, same motion. Look for that speed past the knees. Looking for the torso angle to be the same until you pass the knees, then you start opening the chest. Once again, drop snatches. So what you're looking to do here very quickly, as you drop underneath the bar stays relatively at the same height as you drop underneath. As you move your feet out to the side and land, you punch at the same time. So big breath, reach down. Let's go. 5 of these. 3, 2, 1. From here, from a hang position, we're trying to get as long as possible, as tall as possible. We're putting a pull and a muscle snatch together. So you're getting tall. Once that bar gets around chin height, we drop underneath. Okay, nice and tall. 5 minutes, let's go.
Feet. Right, so stance, there's two stances like Mike mentioned earlier. The start position, your feet are going to start somewhere around hip width apart. Right, that could be slightly, wider depending on how tall you are. But generally, our hip width apart is a pretty good starting position. Toes are going to be pointed up, right? And then it's like a landing stance, and that's where you can comfortably squat from, and that's where we're going to receive the bar today in our snatch. Okay, so we have our hip width, shoulder width. All right, so we're just going to start with that. We're going to get you guys just to do a really quick drill, just to work on that footwork. But what I'm looking for here is that you're landing whole foot. So we're starting whole foot, we're finishing on the ball of the foot, and then we're landing in that squat position.
If you grab it and then bend over into your hip, then you straighten out your arms usually, and come back up, and it should sit in that hip crease there between your hip bone. So that's the way. Bend over, arms straight out, straighten back up, and it should sit in that crease.
What we're looking to establish here today is that you get a safe, effective catch position that you can load, yeah? What does that mean? You're only going as low as that we can visibly see. Good ankle position, good knee position, hips are engaged, lower back, you don't have to slap your own ass. Mid upper back is strong, shoulders in a strong position. That we're not struggling like this, so that we're nice and tall. Why is that important? So this is now, I'd load this position. Would you load this position?
Yeah.
What you think?
I would, yeah.
You would? Come on!
Wait.
So why is this important is that I now get used to this feeling. I can feel this is what a strong catch position is. And as I build, a few breaths, years, months, days go on, and all of a sudden I can get lower, and go lower, and I'm getting the same feeling response as I did from phase one. Does that make sense? Get the feeling right and strong without compensation, and then that progression will happen naturally. You want as much recruitment behind that, and much active intention of taking load, not just the easiest end position. Yeah, it's not about just getting down there and being loose. It's about what can you set up to resist weight in the future. Yeah, intention and time.
Right, we want the barbell to be, if changes brings it down to behind the neck, and then the elbows coming underneath. He's looking to use his lats, his upper back to push the barbell up into a nice strong position. Rib cage is going to be down. He's nice and strong. As you can see here, he's not shrugging up with his traps. All right, he's using his bigger muscles to be able to stabilize the bar overhead. He's going to squat down, trying to maintain that position, and squat up.
The bar is in the height and space, okay? Boom, straight underneath. What we're looking to do, attack the position we just established a second ago, and the feet start underneath the hip, that drill that we did a second ago, we're tying that in now. So bar stays in the same position, feet have the same movement, strong, elbows down, lats engaged, ribs not flared, and then punching underneath. Notice that I haven't brought this back yet. I'm strong, I'm active. Okay?
Yeah, looking to decelerate the bar as you're going down.
Is muscle snatch we did in the warm-up, basically. Elbows coming up, knuckles staying down as long as possible as we pull ourselves down underneath the bar. If we can do it with the weight we have without a dip and drive, do it without a dip and drive. Okay? If the bar is too heavy for you, we can just initiate a small bit of an acceleration of the bar first. It's a general cue. From here, just starting, bar stays closed, same movement that we did in the drop snatch. Down block, spend time down here to get that stable, and back up. I'm just looking for that tension. Notice that I'm not trying to pull that bar up high where it will travel, I'm looking to pull myself down and back. Very important that you get used to this. A lot of times when beginners start, they end up skipping this or trying to pull too early. So mid-hand, just mid-hand is all we're looking for. Even taller, so up here. Very good. Things we're going to look at with this, all right? The positions you might get. You want to find your most powerful extension. And here's generally where that happens. Shoulder blades over the bar. Hip engaged, behind the knee or behind the heel. Shins vertical, hamstring lows, okay? Balance is on the midfoot, okay? And just from there, just do a pull. Same cues that we went through. Aggressive, drive vertically, shoulders into the air, strong mid upper back. Really looking to squeeze the quads, squeeze the glutes, and get aggressively driven up into the air. So again, shoulder blades over the bar, shins vertical, nice strong back lat position, and aggressive extension. Go. A 2 or 3 of that then as well. And again, down and hold. The same. What you should notice is that it's always the same for you. When you see Shane go lower, it's fine, good, yeah, because that's where he feels most powerful. So there is a bit of chopping and changing with this. Shoulder, but the same things always happen. Shoulders are over the back. Hips are engaged, shins are vertical, hamstrings engaged, mid-foot balance. Okay? Nice, aggressive. Squeeze the glutes, squeeze the quads. Go. Vertical extension. Watch the hip. Make sure that hip isn't traveling forward. Make sure that hip is coming vertical. Okay? What we're going to do, into the mid-hang, holding there, and just from there, go through the cues, mid-foot balance, hamstrings engaged, shoulders over the bar. Nice aggressive pull, boom. Love that, good. From there, we're looking to complete that again. Let that happen. Don't panic and try and rush into your third pull underneath. Let yourself finish that extension. Then, from what we did earlier, bring that back in.
That's where he's starting with his extension. He's putting his shoulders far back before or too soon, right? Now the barbell is going around the knees, more of like back and lower back, right? We want him to continue to push through the floor and continue that extension. Shoulders are still going to be at the below the knee. Below the knee, the shoulders are still going to be somewhere on top of the bar. Alright, so there he needs to get out of the way. He's going to go into that extension, still get into that mid-hang and all the other positions that we looked at. High elbows, all those things. Go still. He's not missing any of the previous positions. Elbows high, turnover. You know, you're fine.
You want to make sure that torso angle, when you're in your hang, torso angle stays the same. That's really cute for me, yeah? So it's not
Shoulders back.
shoulders back. There, from the top, we work down, stays the same. It stays the exact same on the way back up then as well. Okay? The quickest, most beneficial way to get good at these positions is to spend time in these positions, yeah? Do not just expect that like those quick drills and you're out of it. Or that, yeah, why can't we absolutely get that perfect? Spend time in it. Boom, lock, there. Feel, midfoot, balance, prep, cue, read, brace, spend, lift, and then come back out of it. Then all of a sudden the body has time to learn where to go. That's why I love the segmented snatch, okay? The way this works is we go from the floor. We're going to start bringing it right down from the floor, but I might just start from below the knee down, and that's okay. So the drill we're going to do, let's bring it up into the snatch, so stand up with it. And we want to bring it into below the knee like what we had a second ago. Now, from here, time there, spend time there, breathe. What are my shoulders doing? What are my hips doing? What are my knees doing? Where's the foot balance? From there, we want to try and maintain this as much as possible and slowly bring it down to just above the floor. And lock, hold, first pull position. Notice that's pretty much identical torso angle as it was the below the knee. If we notice that we can't go into that without compensation, we might edit that for a few people. From here, mid-back stays tight. Watch the knee passage as it comes up. Smooth lock. Hold. 2, 3, 4, 5 seconds. Go through it. Feel that position. Now you can see how hard he's working. Legs are starting to come in. Mid-upper, lower back is starting to come in. Mid-upper back is starting to come in. Then we go into our final extension. So that's individual, where you felt the most powerful finishing your pull, what we learned earlier. So let's bring it up into the hang, or mid-tight, and hold. And the same cues that we're looking for. Knees back, shoulders over the bar, hamstrings engaged, mid-foot balance. Spend time there, learn it. Allow your body to spend time knowing where to go and snatch. Go, hold, spend time there. I'm repeating myself. Make sure I'm going through it. What are my shoulders doing? Are my hips engaged? Where's the balance on my foot? Are my knees in good position? Where's the barbell relative to my body? Yeah? Recover. Fun, brutally difficult. Yeah? Brutally difficult, right? Why is this so important? Or why do, again, I wouldn't get you to do it unless it was so massively beneficial. It's the quickest way for your body to get used,
facilitate these positions. And all of a sudden, when you're asking to do it quicker, the body knows where to go and it knows how to get out of it as well. Is that okay? We do this all together? Yeah? All right? Let's go. Woo! Okay.